All right, all praises to our Elohim, the Ancient of Days, the great I am, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh Shai, and our earthly mother, the Comforter, the Holy Ruach. All praises. And all praises and thankfulness for the rising of our nation, the regathering of our nation, the coming together, the consciousness of our nation, and the protection of our nation. All praises. All praises. So, tonight, so Blog Talk is acting funny. So I'm doing this another way. And I want it to be known that things are going to be acting funnier as we move forward up to and past the 8th to get information out. So it's going to be particularly important for all of us to continue on our studies. We'll be in contact with each other through our crystals as well as our consciousness, our Yahweh Shai consciousness, our Holy Ruach consciousness. Now, that said, again, all praises, goodness gracious, great balls of fire, all praises, man. So, as if it wasn't enough for us to be at war with the Karens, Amerikarens, and the Ameridaves, that we also have to be at war with the Stevens of this world. There's so many of our brethren, let me check myself. There's so many Negroes out here who are so cuckold head, chicken head, trifling, degenerate, ignorant people who would go against their own body to be part of a failing system, a failing people. At this stage in the game, why you would gravitate to a failing system, a failing people, I just do not know. It is nowhere on this earth where a person who is supposedly great would gravitate to a team that is losing, with a losing attitude, with the losing mentality. They're nowhere. So I don't understand why there are some Negroes who continuously perpetuate the mindset of the Gentile. Like, it's crazy to me. But that's their business, and their business is the Gentile business, which is their delusions of grandeur. And that's what this is. The delusion of grandeur of the Gentile mind and the Gentile nations. Okay? So we're going to start. I'll get into this real quick so that we can move on, because I feel like I got a lot to say, but not a lot of time. So first of all, the question has to arise, or before I ask the question, I got to make a statement that Gentiles are so busy trying to tell us who we are not that they don't even understand who they are. Okay? That's the first thing. First thing first. They don't even know who they are. They're so busy trying to tell us who we are not, again, that they don't even know who they are. They're saying, oh, well, they are Israelites. They are Native American. They are ancient. But yet all of their actions speak differently. All of them. Now, why in the world would people whom, mind you, say they are, as we know, but as we know, they are not, why would they create a CERN? So CERN, CERN, this particle collider, you know, they want it to be a way to, get this, verify the God particle. So, I was thinking about that the other day, and I'm like, why are if you are supposedly God's chosen people, why do you need to verify his existence? Wouldn't that already be innate? Wouldn't that already be spiritually connected to your uh, spirituality, to your psyche? But yet here we are saying, hey, you know what? Guess what? We were told we were nothing. We didn't have any history. We didn't have any language. We didn't have any Elohim. We didn't have any land. And they're not smart enough to connect that easy puzzle. Like that's a one of those cartoon puzzles that you get your kid to, between 1 and 3 years old, that can put big old pieces, that like big old pieces. Like they couldn't connect those dots, although they tried to disconnect us from those dots. Now that we see the dots and we can connect them, they can't connect the dots. This is the parallelism that is affecting the psyche, the psychological, has a psychological impact on the minds of these people, which, mind you, CERN doing their thing, opening up dimensions, so they say, seeking the God particle, so they say, but yet, or I shouldn't even say but yet, I should say hence why they are so scared right now. Now it makes sense why they want a Jesus. They want to create a Jesus to some white Jesus to come and save them, because they've been playing with devils. And somehow, Ish, you the chosen people, you didn't see that these people over in your neck of the woods up in Europe was creating a hydrogen, trying to create atomic energy by colliding atoms and maybe opening up different portals. You didn't come to the defense of the Father to say, hey, this is not right, this is not the thing to do. No, you didn't. What you did was say, hey, try to let's all figure it out so we can create a weapon. And let me tell you, let me get to this real quick, because this is interesting. Where did it go? Where did it go? Hold on. So CERN helps to uncover what the universe is made of and how it works. Okay. And so again, if you got to worry about or figure out, if you are concerned about how the universe works, how are you the children of God? Because he told all the prophets how it works. He told Enoch, the book that Gentiles don't even want to acknowledge. He explained how the universe works there. He talked to Abraham about it. Talked to Adam about it. He talked to Jeremiah, to Isaiah, to Jacob, all of the patriarchs about how the universe works. But somehow today we are to believe that these degenerates have some connection to the Most High. And they don't. And we know this to be true. Let's see, is this what I was looking for before? So my mind was going after I started looking up CERN, and I was trying to figure out what was the science of ancient Israel, and the science that they come up with, because these are quackers, right? They come up with Let me find it. Goodness gracious. How did all this get mixed up? They were saying that it is town building and fortifications, writing, industry, horses and chariots. Okay, so that's all they gave as ancient science to the ancient Israelites, to our people. That's all they were giving us. Oh, we're good at, we can do horses and chariots. We are industrious. We can write, and we can build forts and towns. Which, mind you, is interesting. Another parallel, because they said they brought us over here to build their civilization. So, I mean, that's all we get in science. But yet, when we go over here to these Ish people, they're talking about math. They're just superstars in math. They know science in terms of the CERN. Creating weapons of mass destruction. DNA, even though they don't use it. So these things that are on a high scientific understanding, we don't have anything to do with that. All we can do is just build off the land, which is interesting enough because that kind of goes hand in hand with the blessing of Esau, not the blessing of Jacob. So all these things are paralleling themselves, coming into this multiverse eclipse that we have going on here in the next few days, and a great sight to see. And I'm excited to be here to see the end of the 400 years, because whether it be true or not, the mind that I have in my mind, I'm manifesting it to be true. So now these Gentiles, after 10 years of studying, they want to come up talking about, we don't know what we're talking about, that we have some sense of, we want to be everybody. We want to be natives. We want to be everybody. We don't know who we are. We just a bunch of murderers and killers. We didn't do, and I'm thinking to myself, but it's, and this is what I do. I go on and I hunt out these people, and I give them the what for. And I asked them, and I said, well, it's interesting that you're saying this is all what we are doing, but it seems like you're projecting what you guys have been doing onto us crickets. One dude, and this is not even a joke. One dude on Tickums and Tockums, he his name is Doofus, and he is blaspheming us, talking straight doo-doo about us. And I'm like, dude, your name's Doofus. Yeah, that's my name. I was like, so spot on, and you're trying to tell me who I am, yet you're Doofus. And so, like, this is the joke. This is how the Father is really working, for me anyway, because I'm out here trying to I'm just trying to browbeat cats into the truth. And that's not me doing it every day or trying to force people. I'm not doing it by the sword or nothing. I'm just using wisdom and common sense. And if people who read my comments on a daily as I am browbeating them, they feel some sort of way about it, good. As they should. That's what it should do to them. And it's not hard to do, because none of them. I'm watching, and what I do is I browbeat, and then I sit back, and I browbeat again, and I sit back, and on the third time I'm browbeating, I'm done with them. And what I do is I watch their numbers, the likes and the comments, and Dave dwindling. Okay, this other dude Doofus dwindling. And I'm like, okay, Father, I see. You had me ask the question and leave the comment there, and obviously these people are not. People are reading it, and they're seeing common sense and wisdom take root, and these people have nothing else to say. And so, I'm watching how the Father is shutting their mouths. Now, there are some Gentiles out here who are truly, in my spirit, I feel they're truly trying to take part and cleave. But that's not, don't get on social media talking about, hey, I believe that Judah is black, and we're not here to get your approval on who we are. It would better suit the Gentiles to just be quiet and get themselves straight. We for 10 years sat here and studied, and these Gentiles want to run around and act like we just picked up a book yesterday. And it's like, are you crazy? You all just picked up the book yesterday with your Pauline doctrines, your doctrines of devils that don't even make sense. You found you found Paul in there to all confused, and you were like, shoot, we can confuse this even more and say this is the doctrine of the Gentiles. When Paul clearly was talking to the Israelites about the Gentiles, and the Gentiles were around at the time because Paul was in Rome doing this thing, Romans doing this thing, and Paul. Let me read some things that I was writing down that the Father had put on my spirit, and then we'll get into some other things right quick. CERN is going to open up the Leviathan and the Behemoth. The Gentiles cannot run or hide. That's Psalm 61. But for them, the rocks will be melting. Isaiah 2:19, Revelation 6:12-17. And we'll read some of this. All we are saying is we are the light, the remnant. We go against the heathen because they are an anchor around the Achilles of the cleaving Gentiles, whom we are to be a light to. Therefore, we are at war. And as their mighty base men rise up, so do we. We rise up. They no longer get to stand up as the Titans. They get to fall as the wicked is supposed to. Romans 8. Grace is over the nations, but will they adhere to it? Will they gain the favor of the Father without telling the truth of his people and theirs? So grace is over the nations. Before I move forward. So they've been screaming about they've been under grace, like Paul was saying, grace, grace. They've not been under grace. They've been under blessings. Grace is a small amount of time, a particular amount of time that you have. It's like the last bit of time for a person to do the right thing or study or get it right. So you're given a grace period. Just like when if I'm late on my mortgage, I get a grace period, 15 days. That doesn't mean that I get 1,000,000 days in running. I get a finite, particular amount of time. And the Gentiles have gotten that particular amount of time coming up to April 8th. This is why they're all struggling right now. This is why they all trying to get on the esoteric when we already understand these signs. We're excited about these signs. They aren't. And this is why, because we have, those signs are for us, and we have the wisdom and knowledge to understand them. They don't. As we've seen them just talking about, and even our own people, some of our people are off on it. Everybody talking around us. You got some camp brethren is talking about Putin's the icons. Shoot, that was like one of the first things that solidified the truth in who we were when we first began this walk. We knew that we saw that. We're like, oh shoot, that was before the Renaissance. Oh man, I know that's about us. Yet idol, that still was idolatry. But we understood that our people were there, and we drew ourselves. And Russia kept them. And Putin did what he did because he had to do it. Putin has been about the signs from the beginning. That dude may I don't know. He may be a Danite. He might be. I don't know. But nevertheless, people all upset. When we were believing in their white Jesus, they were all excited. Yeah, that's right. That's right. White Jesus. That's right. Amen. Amen. Right. Hallelujah. But now the moment that it switches and they gotta say, oh well, wait, you mean to tell me that Jesus is one of them niggers? Now they losing their mind. Oh wait, and we got this eclipse coming up that's talking about some Israelite thing, and then we just got the Putin just showed us that the Israelites could be black. There's a potentiality of that. There's a high probability of that. Now they're all vexed, as they should be. And as we move forward, our we stand our stance on things get harder and bolder and stronger. And they can't attack us. They can't knock us down. They run around, and I was talking to Bro Leon about this too. I've never seen so many European and Hispanic feet all over the internet. And I was wondering I was like, dang, why are they showing all these women's feet all over the place? My goodness. And I was like, well, maybe they just lusting over this stuff. Well, then the Spirit came to me and said, see, the feet, what they're doing is they're showing you that the feet, that's the time that we're in, the feet of Daniel, the foot of the Gentile man. So all this stuff, all this symbolism that's going on, from the feet to the eclipse to the icons, to us taking our scriptures back, to us being bold about it. Man, these Gentiles don't know what to do. They don't know which way is up. That's why they got the National Guard out, because whatever happens, it's going to create a cosmic dysfunction in their psyche. It will. And it may just be that first seed to do it. Then they're going to go home and they're going to think about it, and all this stuff's going to come out, and they're going to be like, whoa, and they're going to be outing themselves. And then they got CERN that's going to come on. They want to shoot rockets to the moon, to the eclipse, paralleling what they did at the Tower of Babel, paralleling it. Everything nothing new under the sun. They shot arrows to when they got to the top of the Tower of Babel. They shot arrows at the heavens. The same thing they're doing now, because they want to try to stop this. That's what CERN's about. CERN, and that's what I was trying to find. CERN is actually, it's a deterrent. Golly, and I had it up. Oh wait, is it? Yes, here you go. CERN is the machine, but what they're doing is called the Higgs boson particle. It makes the existence of matter and interactions as we know them possible, and it is responsible for the appearance of the mass of all known elementary particles. Without the Higgs field, and thus without the Higgs boson, there would be no atomic elements, no stars, and no life in this universe. Okay, so they're saying that they are creating a God. Okay. So then, right. What is the God particle and why is it important? Now, this is what CERN is doing. However, to understand why the so-called God particle is so crucial and why so many scientists are celebrating, you must understand where it came from. The Higgs boson is often called the God particle because it is said to be what caused the Big Bang that created our universe many years ago. So here we go again. So again, these people are supposedly the chosen people. They're Christians. They love their Jesus. Blah blah blah. But yet they trying to figure out what created the universe many years ago. I mean, why would you need to think who and how and what created it if you are part of the creator? This tells you that they're not part of the creator. They're not part of his plan. They're just not. And it's not even rocket science. It's really quite simple to see because of their actions. Their actions. And there was another part about this that I was looking to find. Because it is talking about here it is. Here it is. So the Higgs boson, 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 is the fundamental particle associated with the Higgs field, a field that gives mass to other fundamental particles such as electrons and quarks. A particle's mass determines how much it resists changing its speed or position when it encounters a force. I'll read that again. A particle's mass determines how much it resists changing its speed or position when it encounters a force. So my mind was racing and I'm like, oh, this is why CERN is, because they know they're going to try to use that against Yahweh Shah. And I'm going to try to use no bombs, no lasers. They're going to try to turn CERN on against Yahweh Shah. Now, when Yahweh Shah said that he was got to come back soon because they like him to destroy it all, that tells me that they're going to use CERN regardless. So when he comes back, they're going to try to turn it on him because they want to use this as a weapon. This is the degenerate mindset of the Gentiles. Like, that's why I always ask the question, well, wait, Gentiles, you're sitting here trying to tell us who we are or who we are not. But let me ask a question. If you are, why is your world in such chaos? Why is everything you're doing anti-Christ? Why is that? Crickets. Crickets. That's why, that's why I do what I do, because it's really simple logic and reason at this stage in the game. All the scriptures have done for me is give me the boldness that I need to ask simple questions. That's why it's interesting. Yahweh Shah, he wasn't all pontificating like these Christian and Jewish pastors and rabbis, these imams, all these Baba Balus and Baba Ganoushas and whatever, whoever they wanted, these titled people. He was just really simple in his communication. Yeah, he spoke in parables simply because he didn't want everybody else to know. So the more we get today, the more energy and resonance and echo that we gain today, what it's doing is it's making the Gentiles vexed because they can't handle simple questions. That's why they went to Paul, because they need to go to people who talk lofty and talk long and confuse the matter, muddy up the waters, so that they can go back and they can say, oh yeah, this is what he meant. And somebody else says, well, this is what I thought. And then they can pontificate and they can argue and debate over it and keep it going. Where when we dealing with, hey, those who that put people in captivity, will go in captivity. That's real simple. That's simple English sneeze. That's English. That's simple. There's nothing difficult about that. You're going in because you created it. You put people in captivity, you're going into captivity. That ultimately is karma. One word, simple, karma. Do you believe in karma, Gentiles? Oh, shoot, yeah, I believe in karma. Okay, so what about your history, your past? You believe, oh, no, 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 no. And it's like, come on. I mean, you can't have it all your way at this point. Now we see you, and it's not nice. Like, you're nasty, you're stinky, you're filthy. You're not righteous. Matter of fact, you're dirty. And Gentiles, if the world was given into the hand of the wicked, how are you the people? How are you ruling? Let me go to this. Let me do this. So here's Luke. Oh, before I do that, going too fast. Slow down. So Paul's story is one without the spirit of truth and one with. He persecuted and killed the Israelites until he was knocked off his donkey onto his ass and given the spirit to see and understand the truth. Much like the Gentiles today, since they love Paul so much, will they be knocked off their donkey onto their ass to accept the spirit of truth? Question mark. This is the parallelism of the scripts. Will the Gentiles allow the Spirit to awaken them? They would say yes, but unlike Paul in his day, the Spirit is in his people to tell the truth through the Spirit. Will they accept or scoff and then boast? You know, we accept Jesus as our Lord and Savior, but we don't accept his people. And look at those people over there. They're so degenerate. They don't even know. They got nothing going on. They come from nothing. They have nothing. They're no one. They're boasting. They're kicking against the natural branches. They're kicking against the prick. This is their moment of truth. This is their moment of truth. This is their moment of truth. This is why they're vexed. Because in any time anyone comes to a leap of faith, a moment of truth, to have to make a hard decision, they're vexed. Their decision has to be made. Are we or are we not the people? I know my daddy, my grandmama, my pastor said so, but are we? Because these people are asking questions that I can't answer. And then when I go to my mama, my granny, and my pastor, priest, imam, or rabbi, they don't really give me any answers. They confuse me like Paul. Being the stable pillars at this time is twofold. One, talking about us, for our own sanctity, and two, for light to those needing to be rescued from their demise. From their demise, not ours. That's why we got next. That's why it's a beautiful thing. That's why nothing else matters. Nothing. Except for our rise. A while ago, I was like, yo, this is we are redeemed. Do you guys not feel this redemption? Damn. And when it comes down to April 8th, oh my gosh, all praises. What will it be like? What will it feel like to truly understand our redemption? Now, does that mean we got to be boasting and talking doo-doo and loud capping and telling them about themselves? Nah, that ain't none of our business. Our business now is at hand of maintaining, persevering, and enduring all the way to the finish line. Now, the eclipse, yeah, that's like, in the 400 relay, not the 4x100, but the 400 relay, that's half a mile, right? So we half a mile and running. And so now we handing off, finally we got the good handoff. And now we running past these jokers. And now they got all the pitfalls and the snares and the walls that they got to jump high and jump over. They tired, they crying. They upset. They vexed. And just like them, we're not stopping because we have a race to run. Their time under their blessing. See, we haven't gotten fully into our blessing to be able to be the light. So we're still in training. We're still Padawans. We're still apprentices in this game. Although some of us have a little bit more insight than others. Some are being used differently than others. We're all in the same game. We're still on the same race. We haven't won yet. Although we have won in the spirit. Which is the most beautiful thing I've ever encountered in my life, to be winning in the spiritual realm. Always used to be like, damn, I don't know if I'm I got somewhere something's gonna happen and I ain't gonna make it. Something's gonna happen and I'm gonna fail, or the failure syndrome was always there. Now that's gone. It's like why shouldn't I win? And the Spirit's saying, you won, son. But you got to keep running. And now you're going to have to pick up pace. Now you're running against the clock. And you got to get it right. So now the Gentiles are like, damn, they've got faster. They got smarter. They got stronger. And to them, it's like overnight. It's like night and day. One moment they were excited, all was good. We were low. The next minute we high, and they struggling. And they're like, wait a minute. This whole thing. And imagine when it was happening to us. We were high, and we were like, wait a minute. But yet we were told why. See, they're being told, but they don't believe it. Like we were told then, and we believed it. And we didn't accept it. Some of us didn't accept it. We still fought, and we fought back, and to no avail. To no avail. Same as them. They're going to be trying to fight against us. It's going to be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's going to be like a Jerry Lewis, showing my age back in the day. Jerry Lewis would be boxing these guys and they be just holding his head and he'd be swinging. This is how it's going to be. And they're going to have problems. And no wonder why we have to continue running the race so that we can, when our race is over, we can then turn back around and go get them and pick up some of the ones that are struggling, that are still running. Not the ones that have given up. This is now their cross to bear. They got to pick up their weapon of mass destruction and carry it. This is what they got to do for killing us and Yahweh Shai, and blaspheming our Holy Spirit and mocking our Father. Oh, we're His children. You're nothing. We're His. You think but for a little while, I'm gonna let them mock on. Hey, Gabrielle over there, write that down. Write that down. Each and every one of the times that they've done this thing, write it down. And they're gonna step up in the court and they're gonna be like, but wait, I didn't. No. Didn't I send you Moses and the prophets, and then didn't I raise up my children at the end to tell you the truth? Didn't I do that for you? Didn't I give you grace, Gentiles? Didn't I? And they're going to say, but he's going to be like, well, tell me, what have you done? And they're going to be like, well, move to the left. Then another one's going to come. Well, what have you done? Well, I I took care of the poor. I went to your people. I fought, did help your people. I knew these were your people. Okay. Is that true, Gabrielle? Michael, is it true? Yes, sir. Move to the right. And this is how it's going to be. And they're going to be separated. The wheat from the tares. This is why they are vexed. This is why they still are holding on to their delusion of grandeur. Let's do that. Let's do that real quick. I can't believe I didn't have that up either. What is going on tonight? Because this is them in a nutshell. Pardon me. I thought I had a tab up. Okay. Delusions of grandeur are one of the more common ones. I don't know what that means. Common delusions is what it's talking about. It's when you believe that you have more power, wealth, smarts, or other grand traits that is true. Some people mistakenly call it illusions of grandeur. Okay? So what are some examples of delusion of grandeur? Examples include the extraordinary belief that one is a deity or celebrity, or that one possesses extraordinary talents, accomplishments, or superpowers. People with grandiose delusions wrongly hold themselves at an extraordinarily high status in their mind. I'm going to say it again. People with grandiose delusions wrongly hold themselves at an extraordinarily high status in their mind. Now, let's see. Okay, let's finish this. It's not too much. So, being the stable pillars at this time, talking about us, is twofold. One, for our own sanctity, and two, for a light to those needing to be rescued from their demise. Okay? Unjust weight and balance. The hunt is on. As moderators for the Father, we now are on the hunt to hide, to aid, do away with, destroy Gentile doctrines. That's what we're on the hunt for. Before it was we looking to help people fish to learn this gospel. Well, the gospel has been spoken all out the world now. The whole world now. Putin brought the gospel. What's the gospel? We are the Israelites. The truth, the spirit of truth of the Israelites. Who they looked like prior to the renaissance of whitewashing. So the truth is now worldwide. And then I had a thought, and I was on TikTok having this thought because I was commenting on this other Gentiles TikTok, which I really didn't listen to. I just gave a comment because I was like, it's all the same nonsense. And this African brother stepped in on his behalf. And I was like, why? And it wasn't the first time. It's not been the first time that some African brethren, or I won't even say that, some Africans came to the aid of the Gentiles when we're telling them the truth. You know, basically stepping in between the Gentile and me, and trying to tell me that, you know, Jesus is the way. And I'm like, yeah, I know that, but his name's not Jesus, whatever. But I understand that. What are you talking about? And all this guy was doing was solidifying what I was saying, but he was saying it in a way that made it appear that he was against me and for the Gentile. So I got to thinking, I'm sitting there at work and I'm like, well, why is it? And And the Spirit came on me. And I wrote this down. It said, it's funny how the Hamites and the Edomites are coming against us. Why? Because the Hamites want to keep our lands, they want to keep our lands there too, and so do the Edomites. They all have the same agenda. Yes, Judah has some land. The southern kingdom has land in what is called Africa. And yes, the 10 tribes have lands in what is called the Americas. Yes, the nation of Israel as a whole house has land that is in what they call Europe. So we've got the Edomites, the Japhites, coming against us, or rather in cahoots with the Hamites, to keep us out of all of that, all of their land, so that they can keep it, so that we can't have nothing. Because remember, the Father's coming to judge the nations for what they did for parting his land, for his people, and for his heritage. So this whole thing, I'm going, you guys are struggling with the realities of the truth right about now, and you think that we are dumb when we clearly know. Let's get to Jubilees real quick. Jubilees 30. For Ishmael and his sons and his brothers and Esau, the Lord did not cause to approach him. He did not want them to come near him. Okay? The Father did not cause to approach him, and he chose them not because they are the children of Abraham, because he knew them, but he chose Israel to be his people, and he sanctified them and gathered them from amongst all the children of men. This parallel again. As he scattered, he gathered. As in the beginning, as in the end. Amongst all the children of men. For there are many nations and many peoples, and all are his. That's why he's going to judge everybody, even those idiots who create CERN. All are his, and over all he hath placed spirits in authority to lead them astray from him. But over Israel he did not appoint any angel or spirit, for he alone is their ruler. Hence why we went into subjugation, into captivity. And he will preserve them and require them at the hand of his angels and his spirits. Again, why we had to go in that, why we had to get judged first, because we are his people. Ain't no other nation on this, no other people on the face of this earth, on this planet, alive or dead, outside of Israel, has been sanctified, had been in captivity. None. They can talk a lot of doo-doo about, the Irish and, everybody's going into slavery. No. Sorry, you're incorrect. It doesn't matter how many times they want to whitewash and rewrite and transliterate and translate. It doesn't matter. What they're failing to understand is we have the spirit of truth. And the spirit of truth is worth all the weight of gold, silver, myrrh, copper, iron, magnesium, magnetite, all the resources, all the minerals. It's worth more than the world, the spirit of truth. Why? Because it tells you the truth. It tells you the truth. So now we can read these words that they have transliterated, translated, added to, taken away from, and the words kind of they come together and make sense the way we now can read them. And now we're even getting the parallelism of it all. And the foolish nations have had this word forever, thousands of years, and they still don't understand. All they've been doing is dealing with Paul. So rightfully so, they don't understand. All they've been doing is dealing with Paul. So they got rid of us. So all they can do, all they have to do is deal with Paul. This was their whole point, their whole being, their whole reason of existence. To be led astray from the Father. And yes, some of them are going to be saved. Some of them will have salvation. Better to be in a righteous kingdom better to be a servant in a righteous kingdom than dead in a unrighteous kingdom. So the Gentiles are now having this problem. It's like a schizophrenia right now. And they don't know really what to do. They don't know whether to dance like witches. They don't know whether to get on with it like nothing's ever happened, or they don't know whether to listen to us. And that's creating a cosmic dilemma within their soul. Now they have a soul. They might not have the spirit of truth, but they have a soul. So the soul, and that's the self-reflection. That's the self-conviction. And that's the self-correction. See, those three entities, those three self-checks, self-checkups can only be done through the spirit of truth. Otherwise, you would do that, you would reflect and be like, oh, I ain't gonna know. Then you want to convict and you go, I gotta take myself out. So you never correct. So all of that has to be done with the spirit of truth. That's what we've been dealing with. We've been dealing with ourselves. They've been dealing with the group dynamics. We've been dealing with the individual dynamics so that when we get together as a group, the group is righteously. That's why that's why their group dynamics and their group philosophies and their group principles are all wicked, because they never stop to deal with themselves. They want to blame. They want to talk about, oh, well, slavery really never existed. Oh, slaves really enjoyed themselves. It's like, what? Are you mad? I mean, I wasn't even a slave and I didn't enjoy myself under your captivity, under your rulership. I can only imagine when I didn't even have the freedoms, the little freedoms that I had under your rulership. If I didn't even have that, no degenerates, no reprobate Gentiles. That's why they have to be put down, because they do not have the wherewithal to reconcile their own past, their own story. They can't reconcile their own wickedness. And that's very difficult. They cannot reconcile their own devils. They just can't. And those that will, it will be an ongoing battle. It won't stop, even in the kingdom to come. That's why they're going to have faith, and they're going to have strength of faith to be able to do away with it, to be there. That's what's good. That's what's going to give them the benefit, them the salvation. For us, we've done this thing, so now we based on the covenant, based on the downtroddenness of our ancients and our ancestors. Now we have the strength of spirit to know, no, I'm not dealing with idolatry. No, I'm not even messing with you. No, I'm not fornicating with you. No, I'm not even eyeballing you. You going about your business. See, that's where we are. We have superseded them in their supersessionism, their replacement theology. So we have just replaced them once again. And what is it? Is it replace? We have, I guess, yeah. I mean, we've replaced our replacements. It's just like back in the day with the NFL when they had the replacements, right? All of a sudden they waited for more money. They brought the scabs in, the replacements, and then they got beat up, and then then the real athletes, the real ballers came back and replaced their replacements. This is where we at. And of course, the replacements had to work hard to even stay there, right? They had to be better than the above average replacement to be in the real game, in and around the ballers. Just like a walk-on that comes on as in a college game, he's got to be better than the scholarship people, the ones that they recruited. So we are the top, we are the triple A, quadruple A recruits of the Father. And the Gentiles now are starting to see that, because what they want to say to us is, oh, well, all of you guys talk hate, all of you guys talk violence, all of you guys don't like us. And listen, we're not doing any of that. Because you're using the all the all word, now you're going off, and as you're doing that, what is it? You are bearing false witness against us, which that ultimately curses you, fools. We're trying to tell you, hey man, hey friend, we are the chosen people. We are being raised up. The world is about to change. The rulership is about to change. We are about to change. You need to get down with us. Get away from them. And many of them are scoffing still. But we're going to see. We're going to see sooner or later. We're going to see soon and very soon. I'm not a singer. I just talk a lot. Let's see. And okay, let me finish this. To lead them astray from him. But over Israel he did not appoint any angel or spirit, for he alone is their ruler, and he will preserve them as he has, and require them at the hand of his angels and his spirits, and at the hand of all his powers, in order that he may preserve them and bless them, and that they may be his, and he may be theirs from henceforth forever. So regardless of whether he beat us, knocked us down, it's like Brother Judah said the other day, he hid his whipping on us from the nations. And the nation still didn't even understand. The same thing back in the day, when your parents was beating your sibling, they took him in the other room. You might have been at the door, but you weren't in the room. Well, this is what's happened to us. He took us away from them, made them say that we are no one, so that he can preserve us until the end, when we had to be risen up so that we can be the people we're to be, so that we can be the light, not only to ourselves, but to them, these nations, the people that the mixed multitude that will come with us, and we can serve our purpose. That's what this all is about. Purpose-driven life. Oh, purpose-driven life. Well, what about us? Oh, you guys ain't got no purpose. You guys really are from Africa. You guys are nowhere. You guys are from nowhere. Oh, okay. So white Jesus it is, I guess. Yeah, it's white Jesus. And this Pauline doctrine. Okay, I guess. Now that veil is torn. Now all of that is away from us. Now we like, no. Paul does not supersede Yahweh Shah. Paul does not supersede the earthly mother. Paul does not supersede the 12 tribes. Paul does not supersede the Father. Paul does not supersede Abraham. He does not supersede the covenant. He is not a God. And the Gentiles are like, they're stunned. Who is them niggas on that nag? Who is them? I thought the other day that they were from Africa. And the Africans are going, nah, they ain't, them niggas ain't from Africa. And Gentiles are going, the Europeans are going, so where they from? Boop, up jumps Putin. Hey, guess what? Check this out. And everybody, and you got all the black people going, yay! And we're going, but we knew that. Another confirmation. A while ago, I said, we will be getting, in the beginning of our walk, we gained revelation. Another parallel. These are parallels. We gained revelation, okay? And they were to get confirmation. They, at the times when we were getting revelation and we're telling them, hey, they were supposed to use that as confirmation to get away from the church. But they didn't. So they broke their parallel. So that no wonder why they're late to the game. They're always late to the game, but they don't no wonder why they're late to the game now. So then a year or so ago, I said, we're about to step into confirmation and they're going to start getting revelation. And now we are being confirmed. We are getting confirmation daily of who we are and our purpose and for what purpose we are here individually and collectively. Because we're all different. We're all, and that's the other thing. Gentiles, everybody got to have this. Everybody got to be the same. This regiment. No, that's not how the Father works. Everybody has their own mission. And whenever we deal with some of our people in the walk who says, you got to be under me, you got to do this, you got to do that. You don't you want to be a priest? Well, who gave you the authority to tell me? Who gave you the authority to make me a priest? I thought that came from the Father. Oh, well, you got to listen to me. You going off. Sounds just like the Gentiles. If you want to be a pastor, you got to learn from me. Well, I don't want to be none of that from you all. I don't want nothing to do with anybody who believes that they are something they are not. Whether they black, blue, pink, yellow, green, white, I don't want nothing to do with it. Because I'm taking my courses from the Father. Why do I need a grad student? Why do I need a student when I got the master? Why wouldn't I deal with the prophets rather than deal? Oh well, you need. It's so funny because every time you go online. Now, it's a couple things. If I go online, I say ancient Israelites always, and I do an image. It's always white people, right? But that's to be expected because we're under their rule. But if I go and I try to look up information based on Israel or scriptures, it's always a commentary first. It's the first thing. Commentary. Jeremiah 16:19. KJV commentary? No, I don't want your commentary. I don't care for your commentary. Why should I listen to you and your commentary? We've been listening to you comment all the time. That's the joke. Another parallel. We're commenting now on them. So we're giving our commentary every day. And they're perplexed. Why the hell are these niggers talking to me about their commentary? Again, we're parallel again. We're asking the same thing. Why are these Gentiles giving me their commentary? See? This thing is gone. It is blown way. It has blown so far that there's no putting it back. It's got to run its course. And this is what they're in fear of. They're in fear of it running the course, and they're not on it. They've been run off the course. That's their fear, their angst right now, their vexation. But then I digress. So I wanted to talk about this real quick. Uh, this is Luke 22, and it is because there's this theme that was playing out in my head that I had to look into, and it's the kings, right? So we're in the New Testament, so-called New Testament. We in that New Testament, right? So in it, Luke 22 is talking about the Passover, right? So and what went down. So he said, and so Yahushua is he had just finished talking to them about somebody going to turn him, betray him. So this is 25. So when he had said this, this one of them was going to betray him. They were all vexed and they were strifing amongst each other. They wanted to fight, and which of them should be accounted the greatest, right? And he said unto them, the kings, and this is why the Gentiles don't read. It says the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. So it's like benefactor. A person who gives money or other help to a person or cause, right? So America has been benefactors of Israel, right? So the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them. Okay. So wherever he's talking about kings in the New Testament, he's talking about Gentiles, and that's where they took themselves out of it. This is what they've done. Let me find it again. So he told them right there, the kings of the Gentiles lord over them. And this was the times of the Romans and the Herodians. Okay, so must be this one. Yeah. So he says, this is Revelation 19. He says, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. So kings, he's talking about the kings. Who's in rulership? This is why the Gentiles don't read. The kings that he's talking about coming to destroy are them, because they are in rulership. A king is not a king if he's not ruling. So who's ruling? So. Oh, and then here go Paul again. I want to just throw this out there. Acts 15 and 19. It is my judgment, therefore, that we should not make it difficult for the Gentiles who are turning to God. Now, stop. Pause for a second. This is where they go. This is Acts 19. Acts 19. Okay, so it isn't. We're not trying to make it difficult on you. We're trying to tell you the truth. Okay, we're trying to help you. We're not trying to be a stumbling block to you. You are being a stumbling block to yourself. But 20 goes on to say, instead, we should write to them, telling them to abstain from the food polluted by idols, from sexual immorality, from the meat of strangled animals, and from blood. So this is all we've been telling them. This is all we've been saying. Hey, your world is in disarray. You need to get a handle on it. You need to stop doing A, B, C, and D. And they give us who the hell are you? You ain't no pastor. You didn't study. Shoot, I've been studying for 10 years. Oh, with the pastor? Well, to hell with your pastor. Okay, fair enough. Your pastor. Not to hell with him. Let me take that back. Your pastor studied for 30 years, but he been telling you lies. So what's worse? I shouldn't even say worse. What's better? Me studying for 10 years telling you the truth, or the pastor studying for 30 years, or being in seminary for 30 years, or being your pastor for 30 years telling you a lie? What benefits thou? So this is 2024 right here. It is my judgment, therefore, that we should not make it difficult for the Gentiles who are turning to God. That's absolutely correct. We want you to cleave to us because we want you all to feel what we feel. The joy, the beauty, the prosperity, the understanding, the love, the wisdom of the Father. That's all. We ain't mad at you. We don't hate you. We ain't got no power to do none of that. But we do have the power of spirit to tell you the truth. So instead, we comment telling you to abstain from food polluted. Stop polluting our food. You're poisoning our food. You're poisoning the air. You're poisoning the water. We're telling you stop. Your idols, stop dealing with your idols. These are idols. That's why Jesus is an idol. It's a detriment. It's too much lust and sex going on. You guys, everywhere you look around, somebody got their ass hanging out. Somebody got their boobie hanging out. Somebody showing their jang jang. Come on, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Stop killing all the animals and eating them like everyday red meat. Come on. Stop eating your food rare, trying to act like you a beast. Stop being a beast. Stop being a brute. So that's what we do. This is what we do. That is, but they'll never go to that. They'll never talk about that. All right, past that. Got past that. Hold on a second. Okay, so not there. Did the Jubilees. Isaiah 2. A day of reckoning coming. 2 and 12. And again, this is all paralleling, right? So the things that are that has happened to us will happen to them in their trouble. See, when we went through our trouble, Jacob's trouble, all these things happen to us, but because they don't acknowledge the Old Testament, they can't parallel it. All they get is, oh well, Jesus loves you. Jesus said the Gentiles can get in. Paul said the Gentiles can get in because, that's it. No, you ain't got to do no works. You ain't got to do nothing but just, have faith and love Jesus. And that's easy for them because no one can question their faith because it's an internal thing. But the works is the the outward thing of faith. So if you are internally truly believing in Yahweh Shai, you would be on the outside, you would be working, you would be acting, you would be doing things that Yahweh Shai was doing. So therefore, your faith and works makes you alive. But see, faith without works is dead. They don't talk about that either. They don't want nothing to do with that. They just want to talk about faith. That's why we already know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Check the clock. That's that go-go from DC. Come to boogie. So I mean, I digress a little bit, but this is just where we at. And Isaiah 2 and 19. Now this is where I was getting to the rocks. Cause see, they're gonna be trying to, here in a bit, they're gonna be trying to go into their little bunkers, go into their little mountain resort, little homes and stuff, to try to hide from this eclipse that's coming and the things and the repercussions of the eclipse. They're gonna be trying to hide, but it's not gonna work. And this is Isaiah 2 and 19, and they shall go into the holes of the rock and into the caves of the earth for fear of Yahweh Shai and for the glory of his majesty when he arises to shake terribly the earth. They don't want to talk about none of this stuff. And I got to thinking, let me see, do I still have it up? It's Matthew, yes. I got to thinking, earlier on, right before I came on. It says, it said the stars shall, where is it? The stars shall fall. And today I was looking at Tickum and Takum, and it showed the other night that there was a meteor shower. Wouldn't that be considered stars? Wouldn't that look like stars? So we've had plenty of meteor showers that come in. All these things, the stars are falling from the heavens. The moon is turned red. The sun is turned black. See, they don't even understand. Maybe they do. Maybe that's part of their vexation. But the reality is that these things are happening. Earthquake, 7.5 earthquake in Taiwan. Is it Taiwan? Taiwan the other day. In various places, in diverse places. And they want to act like we don't know what we're talking about. We are the time clock. Once we wake up, the earth wakes up. Because as we rise, so does our land. Because the land is happy now. Oh, thank you, Father, for waking them up. Now I can have peace. Because the land will be happy when we are ruling again. Because we're not going to be trying to dig in it. We're not going to be trying to blow it up. We're not going to be trying to poison it. We're not going to be trying to build all up in it and hide things in it and kill people and put them in it, let the blood. We're not going to be doing all that in a righteous world. That's why this is a beautiful time for us. That's why I walk with my head high. That's why I am strong in spirit. I mean, I remember 10 years ago, I used to be a little shy at this because I was just learning. I never understood why I went to college for history, for his story. I never understood. Now I do because I can pinpoint it and put them in their place boldly. And they ain't got nothing to say. Oh, well, it's like the other day I'm talking to this brother, he's a good guy, a Gentile fella, owns a restaurant, good barbecue. I don't be eating the swine, and he knows it, so he'll get me some brisket. He makes a pretty good brisket, a pretty tongue twister, a pretty good brisket, and some mac and cheese and such, and we got to talking, and I said, you might be a Cleveland Gentile because you've gone through a lot, and you've got a good heart on you, and you treat people with respect, and this dude's 6'7", and he's a chef, and he does the right thing, and he's gone through some things, and he's come up out of it. The other day we went up to the restaurant, and he was telling us that he just came out of some madness, that it's done. Thank goodness. And he was giving all praises. And I was like, what? And I said, okay. And, I told him, maybe you're a Cleveland Gentile. And he was like, well, we need Jesus to come back soon. I was like, time out, buddy. You don't need to be thinking like that. Because when Christ comes back, when Yahushua comes back, he's coming back with the sword to put the wood to people. And then I stopped short of going into him, giving him some body blows. And I said, but let me just ask you, when I said, how did Egypt ever put Rome or Greece in captivity? And he stopped and he thought about it. It was like, it's a good point. Because these white people want to act like they the Hebrews, and they were in captivity in Egypt. But yet, Greece and Rome came after Egypt. See, that's why they don't even put Egypt on the chart in the history. They assimilate Egypt into Greece. Because if people realize Egypt was before Greece and Rome, not during the same time, because the end of the Egyptian Empire was when Greece, Alexander, but they had been going on for years, hundreds of years before that, before Greece ever stepped on the scene, before Alexander even rode, put his ass on a horse. So, the logic of the rationale and the logic of these people today, their narratives are not adding up and they don't make sense. And when confronted with, hey, that story doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense, they either got to accept it or they double down, which is another parallel. They'll double down. I used to go, why, Father, are they going to get double? I know they did a lot of things, but why double? I mean, goodness gracious, double what we got. And he was like, because they double down. They double down. I mean, they trying to bluff the Father. It's amazing. I mean, this thing is amazing to me. It's so amazing that I am starstruck over our Father. Talk about starseed. I'm just starstruck. I'm like, man, Father, you are wonderful, man. I thank you. Every day, every morning, wake up. Thank you, Father, for this breath. Wow. I mean, because every day he brings back to remembrance where my black ass was, what I was doing, how wild I was, how trifling my ass was. And I'm like, I repent of that, Father, and I move on. And he allows me to live to fight another day, live to breathe another day. And I give him thanks for that, because I was wild. I ain't gonna snitch on myself, but I was wild, man. I was a wild man back in the day. And I say back in the day, I'm talking the 80s and 90s, yo. Maybe even the early 2000s. I was a wild man. But nevertheless, that's a digression, and we ain't talking about me. But, we are now on this path of pure sanctification, because again, he sanctifies us, right? This is the Jubilees. This is what he does. He stated he preserves them and blesses them. He sanctified us. Now just a thought popped in to my mind. Hold on a second. So he sanctified us from the beginning. He set us apart. He declared us holy, consecrated us. He made us legitimate. He binded us to him. He purified us. He purified our forefathers. And we went, and our forefathers, acted a straight donkey. But yet he had already purified us. Therefore, that purification was already there. So in order to maintain his purification and preservation, we had to get judged. So now we come out, we are pure. When we come out of this madness, we are pure. When the 400 years are over, we are pure. Why? Because we do not want to go back into the madness that we just left. That's it. See, the Gentiles, we were browbeating them cats before we went into captivity under them. They remembered it. We were beating them, talking doo-doo to them, treating them like filth. Matter of fact, and rightfully so. But this is what we were doing. And rightfully so, they felt some sort of way about it, and they doubled down against us. They hated us. So now they remember and they try to forget all of that, all of their history. But now that we've come back to remembrance of our history, we now remember their history too, which the remembrance of for us is also the remembrance from them. They're not going to get away from it. It is going to be a purification of the earth. This thing is a wonderful thing to be a part of. I thank you all. I thank all the brethren and sisters that have, and I mean this, like all the brothers and sisters that I've learned from, like this thing, and they know who they are. I mean, my goodness. I mean, they know who they are, and the Father knows who they are too. And I am very thankful, and I'm thankful for the new sisters and brothers that I'm meeting now that is edifying me as well, because iron sharpen iron, and here we are today, sharpening each other. We ain't kicking against the prick like them. We doing this thing. We're learning. We are remembering who we are, and that is a majestic thing to do. We're about to put our crowns on, Israel. We're about to do this thing in a big way. And once this 400 years is completed, I tell you, I don't know. I can't even fathom it, to be honest with you. I know Sister Pat was saying, shoot, we're going to be shining. We're going to be glowing, be radiant. And that all may be true. And I hope I hope we do get our halos. I hope we do, because if nobody else, we deserve it. We deserve it for the work that we put in, the time, the energy, the patience, the endurance, the perseverance. What other people are doing the things that we're doing. And I mean we as a nation, because we've been the 100 monkey experiment. Now we know how to crack a nut. We know how to do things collectively. We know who we are collectively. We know that we can be in our group and do things in a big way. We no longer have any fear of the naysayers. We got no more fear of the foolish nations. Matter of fact, they are all like spittle to us. And it's a wonderful thing. And that's not disrespectful. That just is what it is. Ain't nobody being mean. No one's going out spitting on people. That's what they do. Matter of fact, that's what those nasty, degenerate, reprobate-ish people be doing. That's what they do. They are likened to spittle, meaning they are of no consequence. But them people, they'll just spit at you, spit on you, fake it so that you get in trouble for retaliating, for their thought of spitting at you, of dehumanizing you. But now, when the X comes, they're going to be looking at us thinking, oh, don't spit on us. We're going to be like, we ain't trying to spit on you. We don't even have time for you. Again, a parallel. Yahweh Shai. Listen, talking to that woman, it's like, look, I ain't got time for you. I don't even know who you are. You're not my people. You got to move away. Get away. And his boys, hey, get that woman away from Yahweh Shai. What is this? And finally, she was so persistent and had strong faith that he had nothing but to help her, nothing to do but to help her. So this is how it was, and it's going to parallel back to where it is. And the Gentiles don't like that. They can see that everything, dumbass Trump. Oh well, I got these books that I'm gonna sell. Well, what's the book? Oh, the Bible. Nigga, please. $60? Are you kidding? I got the PDF on it already. What do you mean? I'm looking at the King James. Well, it's got my name in it. Okay. Is it in gold, nigga? Yeah, it's in gold. $60. What? Trump, I thought you didn't even like it. I thought you ain't even. I thought that you weren't even part of this. Well, but I got to make this money. Okay, I ain't mad at you. Do your thing. Do your thing. I'm not buying it, but do your thing. Shoot, I got these shoes, nigga. I don't want none of these shoes either. I don't want none of your shoes either, man. Keep that stuff over there for them folks. You see what I'm saying? All of this has become such a joke. The Gentiles have become such a joke that they don't even ruffle my feathers no more. The only people that's ruffling my feathers now are these Stephen Negroes. These Negroes that don't want to get on their horse, that want to walk next to the man on his horse. See that we ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. And they're gonna be called out, and it's gonna be a travesty against them. Double. The Gentiles get double. I'm sure that the people, our brothers who are siding with them, going against us, bearing false witness against us, I'm sure they probably get triple. That's just me. I ain't the Father, nor do I really care. But all praises, Israel. It's been great. This is a fantastic trip that we're on, and it ain't stopping, and we flying. Like Sister Pat put on there, fly like an eagle, but we flying like a phoenix. All praises. All praises. Be at peace, Israel. Be at peace. Our redemption is now. Shalom.